But we build cities which are not capable of handling even the normal monsoon rains. We want rain in this country, this is a tropical nation, we want as much rain as possible. Only thing is, we have to build capacity to see how the rainwater goes down into the soil, not flowing into your home. What is lacking in the country is a strategy. Emotionally, we do things and it dies down after 3 days. But now, if you have to make a law like that, we should not have people who are very nervous about winning the next election. What is our plan? Ignorance is bliss, is it? So, ignorance is not a solution, nor is it a bliss. Ignorance protects you from suffering a few things, but suffering will accumulate and come to you in large scale at some point. Right now, this flood itself is ignorance is bliss only. Because people thought if you don't know anything, everything will be okay. No, you will drown. We have not seen that kind of rains, particularly in this area, in the last 8 to 9 years. This is the first time I'm seeing, after about 9 years, full-fledged monsoon. This is how monsoon should be, you understand? There is no such thing as bad rains, they're all good rains. Only in England, rain is bad. Only they sang, rain, rain, go away, okay? In India, in a tropical country, rain is always good. Are we prepared to handle the rain or not? How can we prepare to handle the rain? Can we catch it in a bucket? No. When we live in a monsoon country, when we live in a tropical country, it is a simple thing that we must have a certain level of vegetation to hold the water. In Tamil there is some saying, I cannot repeat it verbatim, something like, only if Kaveri comes walking, she is fortune. If she comes running, she is a disaster. Why will a river run, tell me? How to make a river walk, not run? There must be vegetation. If there is substantial vegetation, the catchment areas, when they get it, it will hold and slowly it'll come down to the river. Now there's no vegetation, it's coming straight in. Similar situation happened in Coorg also now. In the last 30 years' time, they've removed 65% of the vegetation in Coorg, which is the catchment area for Kaveri. Now, as a part of this, in collaboration with Karnataka government, we are planting 25 crore trees in the catchment areas of Kaveri. But the problem is this, that vegetation in the catchment areas have been removed, 65% in the last 30 years. At one time, I floated down Kaveri, 163 kilometers over 13 days on just about 6 or 7 bamboos and 4 truck tubes. I just floated down, lived off the river. At that time, how I saw Kaveri, today it is only approximately 40% of it. No wonder you will fight for water. But now when the flood comes, who can hold it? Nobody can hold it because Nadandu Vandada Kaveri, Valam. She must come walking. So, ignorance is bliss means it'll get you one day. It took some time, it took 24 years, but it got you. The same is true with Kerala. In the Ganga banks, in the Ganga basin accounts for 25% of the nation's geography and 33% of India's agriculture. In the last 70 years, we removed 94% of vegetation in the Ganga basin. What is our plan? Ignorance is bliss, is it? Yes, it is. Bliss will get us. Our ignorance may somehow make us escape, but it'll get our children. They will not get away. Next generation will get it. We don't know how to handle a blessing. That's the whole problem. When water is something that is super scarce in the country, but we build cities which are not capable of handling even the normal monsoon rains. Not when a cyclonic storm happens, that's different. That's an unusual level of water. When a tsunami came, you can't handle the water, that's a different matter. You can't be prepared for that. But a normal monsoon we are not able to handle in most of the cities, whether you see Mumbai is every year flood, Chennai only once it happened, but it'll come to you also because there is simply no planning. We're just building cities like shacks all over the place, whichever way we like, without understanding the topography. Nobody ever built a city, even in ancient times, without considering the topography of the place. But today we are such brilliant engineers, we have built things without considering the topography. We have built bridges and roads all across the country without considering the topographical issues, as if you can fix it. You can't fix it. The flow of water and many other aspects of soil dynamics and other things are very topographically decisive. So, without considering the topographic aspects, we're just building cities, one building at a time. Our plan is only one building at a time sanctioned. The entire plan, nobody knows where is that plan. So, there is no way we can rip off the city and again put it back, not possible, we are not ready to do that. We have to make corrections. Corrections could be painful for a few people, which we must do. I think some corrections were done, people who are living in the riverbed, they've built in the riverbed, but it's their home. When you demolish this home, it looks very cruel because there's a family living there and they're suddenly out on the street. But if you want long-term well-being, some hard steps are needed. We should be willing to go through some pain if we want long-term well-being. If we don't do those things, we will live like very, for the day kind of people. Again, when it rains or when it floods or when something happens, we will always have problems. We want rain in this country. This is a tropical nation which receives only 40 to 45 days of average rain in the year. We want as much rain as possible. Only thing is, we have to build capacity to see how the rainwater goes down into the soil, not flowing into your home. This needs some planning, this needs some correction. Corrections will look cruel when you do it, but later on citizenry will enjoy that. The city will be a good place to live, but they will be painful when we do it. Especially when the society has a concentrated population, everybody has to follow the rules, otherwise every little thing that we do harms somebody else. So we need to understand this. This sense of living in close proximity is a certain challenge. And our cities are very closely packed people. So, how we walk, how we breathe, how we drive, how we throw our garbage, how we use water, everything needs to be calibrated carefully, otherwise nobody can live properly here. Because of population pressure and poverty and variety of other stresses that people are going through, they try to find shortcuts. That is how it is everywhere, believe me. People are like this. This is why we must become a law-abiding nation. Right now, even with the rivers, this is what I'm trying to do. Everybody wants to do things out of their emotion. This is a nation which runs on people's emotion. Anything you say, they want to get into action today. Wherever I go, there's a rally for rivers. Sadhguru, we will plant trees tomorrow. I said, you're not going to plant a single tree. Just shut up and give a missed call. Because what is lacking in the country is a strategy. Emotionally, we do things and it dies down after 3 days. We have to approach our problems strategically. Right now, Chennai flood as an example, topographical maps are there, all right? If you just see it, we know which are the areas which will have to go. Now, they are not willing to go. So if they are not willing to go, we have to do much more engineering of laying underground pipes and doing things, all this stuff. If this we have to do, there's a cost involved. If this we have to do, if we don't dig out your house, at least maybe we have to dig your garden. You must be ready for that. If you're not ready for that, there must be a law which will anyway do it. But now, if you have to make a law like that, we should not have people who are very nervous about winning the next election or winning the next vote, confidence vote. They can't make these laws, they cannot enforce these laws. There must be leadership which is willing to do what is needed for the long-term well-being of the city and the people. This needs some courage and commitment to execute what needs to be executed.